Hey guys, Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and we're back talking about another TV show. And as everybody knows, The Last of Us just came out, and this show, let's say for the video game community, transitioning into getting their games turned into movies, I would say this is a good start. Even though I am not generally into zombie themed anything, whether it's games or TV shows or movies, I wanted to check this out because a lot of my video game friends have been raving about this show, and they have played the game themselves and said that the storyline to the game is actually good. Now, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about episode 1 and what happens in it, and pretty much the two main aspects, and let you guys know my thoughts on this show in general. Now, and I'm also going to give you my opinion on whether or not this show is watchable for the video game community. Now, even though I have not played the games, my friends have told me pretty much a lowdown on what happens in the game. I can't really relate to all the characters so far, but I am a big fan of Pedro Pascal, so that's another reason why I wanted to watch this show as well. And don't forget, Mandalorian's coming out soon. But let's get into what's happening, and let's just start off by talking about what happens in the beginning. We get these two doctors. Dr. Newman and Dr. Schwarzer. I'm butchering it, but Schwarzer or something like that. And they are in this on this talk show. I was gonna say in a meeting, but they're on this talk show, and they're talking about science stuff, doctor stuff, and pretty much they were talking about changing in biology and stuff like that. And he pretty much mentioned that the only issue that he would have is if fungus turned certain fungus have a way of manipulating certain organisms. So there's a specific type of fungi, like if it would get on an ant, it would manipulate the ant, and it would pretty much manipulate the ant to infect everybody around it. And the only way for that fungus to survive is for it to eat on dead flesh. And once it starts eating on dead flesh, then it'll be able to affect everybody, and it feeds on flesh, but once all the flesh dies, to maintain that, it would have to feed on more flesh. So therefore it would have to start eating people and infecting people, and so on and so forth. And pretty much he said if that were to happen, then we would all be doomed. But the only way that would happen is if the temperature of the world would slightly get warmer for that fungus to have to adapt to that. So, and then we cut back to Pedro Pascal's character. Now we cut back to Pedro Pascal's character, Joel, and when we see he's just a regular single dad, and it seems like he's living with his brother Tommy and taking care of his daughter. His daughter's name is Sarah. It is Joel's birthday. Sarah steals some money from Joel, from her dad, to fix his watch that she knew he never would fix on his own. She ends up giving it to him at the end of the night. It seems like he owns a small business, because it seems like he's doing jobs for people, and he was telling his brother that we're waiting for the concrete guy to do something so we can do another thing, and we can't do what we got to do until that's set. And the brother said, switch somebody, and he's like, I don't even want to split it with the guy. We got to split it with you. Why would I want to split it with another person? So there's that. Now, it seems like obviously they're they're not rich. They have enough to survive. It's just they're just a normal family, and that's interesting. It's capturing. It makes you feel for these two characters in the beginning, and so it seems to me, it makes it seem like that report was probably made either years ago or that same day, because of the way it was shot, and they don't really say it was in the past, and they don't really say that that report was earlier in that day. But once Joel gets home from work, he spends time with his daughter. His daughter gives him his present, and she also borrows a movie from the neighbors who she helps out once in a while. And this is where we first see an actual reaction to this virus, this fungus, I guess, that's infecting people. When she's at the neighbor's house doing her homework, spending time with the neighbor that's taking care of, I believe, of her mother, the lady goes into the kitchen to get the cookies, and the mother starts opening her mouth and twitching, and we see earlier in the day that the grandmother can't even open her mouth. They were forcefully shoving food into her mouth. So obviously she was having a reaction to something. Then as Sarah, Joel's daughter, leaves, the dog is just sitting there staring at the old woman. She thinks it's odd, but she says nothing about it. But as Joel and her daughter are watching a movie together, and she falls asleep, Joel gets a call from his brother Tommy. He gets into a bar fight. He has to bail him out. Now Tommy and Joel obviously have a loving relationship, or else Joel would have been like, nah bro, it's my birthday, I'm chilling, and you're there for the weekend. Now Joel goes to get his brother, and on the way back everything hits the fan, I'll tell you. Sarah wakes up in the middle of the night to the neighbor's dog scratching on the door, and she cannot, she tries to bring him back home and sees the old woman pretty much eating the husband and the wife. Now she turns around and runs, because obviously she sees these little tentacles coming out of the woman's mouth, the old woman's mouth. She runs outside. Her father and Tommy are pulling into their little cul-de-sac, because they live in like a little cul-de-sac. So when Tommy pulls into there, he says, get in the car, no time to explain, just get in the car. And the old woman runs outside, like screeching at them, and Joel handles business. They end up trying to leave town. They can't. So Joel pretty much, they can't. The military surrounding them. They try and head by the river. They get encountered with a military police officer, and he pretty much gets orders to shoot them. He's about to shoot them. Well, he's not about to. He shoots them, kills his daughter, and then we get flashed. I watched it like 3 times. They don't say, at least I didn't catch where they said how far ahead they flashed after his daughter was shot. But they have this whole society worked out, where, you know, it's all military run here, and there's like obviously danger zones, people that are still infected roaming around, and people who are out there running free, looting and doing whatever they want. So it's more like a ungovernmented like area right now. Now Joel's brother Tommy, I believe, went somewhere, and they're trying to find him. So him and this woman Tess end up working together, I guess. They didn't really get into detail with that yet. I know people who probably play the game who are going to watch this is going to probably be like, oh, in the comment section, knows why all this is going on, but me, I don't. Now, he has to get to this tower, so he's looking for a battery for a car. Ends up the person he was buying the battery was sold it twice, and on top of that, it wasn't good, so they killed him. And he met up with a chick that he knows. I don't even remember her name, but she has the little girl Ella. Everybody knows her from Game of Thrones. She was the one who died by the giant, little girl. It was one of the bigger things about this. They, in exchange for taking her to a specific location, he will therefore get everything he needs to go on a journey to find his brother. Now, this girl obviously is the cure to this zombie apocalypse, because the fungus is what is causing this zombie outbreak, and this girl was bit and she is immune. Now that I've pretty much explained the whole first episode, let me break down how I feel about the way they brought in this. So now, honestly, personally, of a person who's not really into zombies, think zombies and stuff like this is really lackluster. It was a very interesting way to go about how they get the disease, or the sickness, or whatever term you prefer to call it. Now, having it fungi that pretty much affects the brain, that makes you feed on flesh like that, is cool. I'm not gonna lie. It makes it more interesting for me to see actually where they go from here. Now, the characters, Joel, he just seems like a regular guy. You know what I mean? They didn't make it seem like he had any type of military background. He's just a guy who lost his daughter in this type of situation, which is kind of generic for me. Like in most zombie type shows and movies, they just have a regular guy trying to survive in this type of world, and yet he has to go on an excavation to look for somebody. So I think that's very generic. So and you know, it's always mainly about the journey to their destination more than the destination. But the fact of the matter is, it's always, you know, they got to take the cure to a location. So it's more of like, okay, how many zombies are they gonna kill? How many zombies are they know that they're gonna kill? You know what I mean? How many people are they gonna meet, then have to kill? Kind of like the Walking Dead type of deal, but it's more based off of a solid story from what I've been told. But I liked it, I guess, so far. It was very interesting, and I'm definitely going to keep watching it and keep you guys updated on this one. But this is all I really have for you guys. I would definitely recommend you check it out, especially if you played the game. From what I've been told so far, it doesn't seem like it's straying too far from how the game works. So I hope you guys have a good day, time, night, whenever you guys are listening to this. Thank you.